This episode of The Answer is Yes Baja Sessions is brought to you by Baja Bound Insurance Services. Driving to Mexico? You can buy and print out your Mexican auto insurance policy online in minutes with their easy-to-use website. They also have great travel information to help you plan your trip south of the border. Visit bajabound.com, the easiest way to get Mexican auto insurance.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Baja Sessions on the Answer is Yes podcast show. Appreciate you tuning in. I am down in Baja today. I haven't been down here for a couple months. I had the holidays up at home, and I'm really happy to be here. A little update on the border. I did just post something on Instagram. No wait coming south of the border. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Agents were working. Lines were super small getting into Baja. And, yes, of course, they're building that big, beautiful wall down here. But what's interesting, the thing that I noticed is although there's a lot of portions of the wall that are new, they've taken the time to clean up on the Mexico side. There's a beautiful new planter alongside the wall. They've planted some new trees. I've seen this place cleaned up for the first time in probably 30 years along the highway right there. So it's really neat to see that. Clearly, there's a lot of care and concern going into that. I did not see any tear gas. I didn't see any long lines. I didn't see any ruckus down here. So don't let the news media deter you from coming down to Baja and miss out on this wonderful opportunity. The weather's perfect down here. We're heading into the Valle today. I brought my wife, my two little girls down, and my dog. So please don't listen to the hype on the media. Come down here. Enjoy Baja. This is a perfect time of year. There's not a lot of people. So if you want to take advantage of no lines at the wineries, incredible dinners here in town. I got to say I had one of the best dinners last night in town with some good friends that introduced me to the restaurant. So with that all being said, I am with a good friend of mine from Baja, and you may know him through Baja Voyager, which is Juan Carlos. Good morning, Juan. How are you today, buddy?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim, for the invitation. Very good.
I'm glad to have you here. We're sitting by, I'll try to post some good pictures up, but we're sitting by the pool at the Costa Corral, which is basically an RV park. But how beautiful is this pool down here?
So beautiful. But I will say it's not an RV anymore.
No, it's not an RV park. No, no.
They've got a resort very close.
They've got some cabanas down here, and I know that they do tacos here in the summertime, so you can come down and enjoy the amenities here.
Great.
So it was great to see you and your wife last night at dinner. What was the name of the place again?
La Hoguera.
Thank
you very much for the invitation.
No, it's a pleasure to have you. Now, that is just that's in the heart of downtown Ensenada. You mentioned that was their second location.
Yeah, it's their second location. They were kind of east side of the town, where back in the years where all the ranches,
Yeah.
So, it was very beautiful. The ambience was different, like a ranch, you know. But they still have the taste and they still have the good service.
I got to say that was probably some of the best chips and salsa I've ever had, to be honest with you. They make the salsa right by the table, and it was just beautiful. Like you said, the service was incredible. Also, one of the best micheladas I've ever had, too. So if you like chips and salsa micheladas, that's the place to be. And I know some people call you JC or Juan Carlos or the guy from Baja Voyager. One thing that I've always said about you is you're one of those people that can help get the job done. And if you're coming down here to travel and enjoy Baja, but you want somebody to drive you around and then experience the Baja Peninsula, that's Baja Voyager.
Thank you very much. Yeah, well, the idea born after 15 years that I worked for hotels locally in different levels, restaurant, bar, hotel. And then 2009 was the click for us when we just decided to go on our own with Baja Voyager and have a way how to offer and show Baja to all the visitors.
Yeah. Well, I met you through off-road racing, but I know that that's not the only thing you do all year. So clearly you had a business plan to start something wonderful. Can you tell me some of the services that you guys offer for the general population, somebody that's coming down not for a race?
Yes, thank you. No limits from find the right place for the occasion when you are coming down to Baja, to recommendations for meals, dinner, where to take the family. If you're in a convention, different interest and best choices, basically that.
Yeah.
And the complement, it's to provide to the visitors and cover all their needs and answer all their questions while they are in Baja.
Yeah, and that's, you say no limit, and I know what you mean by that, but I don't know if most Americans know what you mean by that. And I guess to clarify, if somebody wants to come down and experience Baja for the city, for example, if they wanted to experience Ensenada, you could help them with a hotel, some local travel, maybe out to La Bufadora, maybe some surfing location or some fishing location. But the real adventure, and I think this is where the value is with you and your company, if somebody wants to head south and experience maybe Scorpion Bay. We've talked about Scorpion Bay on this show quite a bit. If they wanted to experience something like that, you can put together a trip where they can go all the way down to Scorpion Bay with your team and have an incredible adventure.
Of course. Well, there's many choices. There's people who, for people who never experienced the Baja and it's the first time and they feel kind of afraid, or insecure about to being in Baja, what we provide is put everything together for them, counting on the gap of time they have. How many days, how many people, if they're traveling with a family, and set up everything they may need, like transportation, places where to stop, meals, and basic things as Mexican insurance and some other stuff that it's interesting for them or needed, during a trip to Baja. But yes, we can go with them and enjoy with them and show them what we got behind the wall.
So, I understand that Scorpion Bay is quite the adventure. A little bit more accessible now because there's a decent highway going in on the south end, right?
Yeah.
The north end still out of San Ignacio can be challenging. But, we talk a lot about the other side of the peninsula.
Sea Cortez.
Yeah. I was just talking to one of the workers out here, and he's saving up for a trip to go down to Mulegé. Mm-hmm. And, what a wonderful place to be and to be able to travel down in that arena. Do you have any favorites that you like to go to down there where you take clients?
Of course. I love all the beaches close to Mulegé. I think the middle point and the best place for me in Baja, it's Loreto, in my opinion. You know, where you got all the services and beautiful sightseeing and beautiful places, good food, and his location it's no better because you can run south or north, in a very short time,
Yeah.
So I always recommend Loreto as an obligated stop. Mulegé is beautiful, and the good thing in the rides and the trips through Baja is that you can go start or begin your trip to Pacific Ocean, and then go across the peninsula and then in the Sea of Cortez.
Yeah,
which is beautiful.
Now, I've been in your vehicles before. You've got great transportation vans.
Thank you.
You've got the off-road tires and the supplies. They're very comfortable. So, if somebody was going to take a trip all the way down to Loreto with you and your team, they've got great accommodations in the vans, and, of course, you know where to stay along the way.
Yeah, well, in the last 2 years, we put our efforts in make the right complements to our service,
Mm-hmm.
And, well, sometimes when we have bigger groups, it's not easy just to run them with 2 shuttles, So we have some companies which are associated with us, our partner with us for this service, But I can say that a group from 15 to 25 people, we can take them for 10 days down south in our own vehicles.
Yeah.
And help them to live a good experience in Baja.
Yeah. And again, going back to you guys can create any experience that somebody wants. I know that also means. For the normal person that wants to be on a budget and have a good time and experience Baja. But I also understand that means if you've got an unlimited budget and somebody wants to go to wonderful hotels and spare no expense, but they want to enjoy the travel in a vehicle, that you guys also know the great places to go there. So you accommodate both ends of the spectrum.
There's a bunch of choices with us when someone decided to work with us, like just to start with a plan, just giving us, the schedule, the time, how many days they have and who are they traveling with. And we just can make the plan for them and all the reservations for them.
Yeah.
And show them where to go, who to call, where to stop, and just basic recommendations to make their trip enjoyable, or we can go with them and set up the trip with them. Actually, we can adjust our prices to any budget. We can go basic, even camping, to stay in a 5-star big hotel that we name Gran Turismo in Baja.
Yeah. Now, I know that we're working on a project around my NORA race coming up this year. And this is for my listeners because I'm really excited about it. I'll be racing the NORA Vintage 1000, which is spans over 5 days from Ensenada to Cabo. And I've asked JC to put together basically a camping trip around the race. So our goal is, and by the way, I'll be racing with Drew Deckman from Deckman's Restaurant here in the Valle, one of the top chefs in Mexico. And Drew will be with me in the car, as well as a good friend of mine, Kurt, who owns DC Shocks up there in California. And we're going to head south, but Juan Carlos here is going to book us some spots on the beach so that we can have some gourmet meals with the chef.
Exactly.
Get some good photos and some campfires and watch the sun go down at the end of each race day, of course, if everything goes all right. And really enjoy the Baja experience beachside. And speaking of everything going right in the vehicles, you have a new project down here in town or just outside of town, which you have your own shop now to repair. Is it just race cars, or do you repair other things?
No. Well, the thing is, we work on bikes, UTVs, trucks, cars. But Baja Power House born after the need we have, with our own vehicles to have our own place, like our own shop where to work in them. It was kind of a nightmare to come back from a trip and perform the service to every single vehicle. Some of them go to the dealership, some other go to the brake shop and everything. So we decided to find a place where we can, what we can name our headquarters, and have a way how to share it with our guests.
Yeah.
As you know, we are so involved in racing too. So we set up Baja Power House as the Baja Voyager headquarters. And it's a place where you can leave your car, we can work on it, or your truck or UTV, or you can just show up and put it there. You can work on it. You have a lift. You have all the tools. You have a place where to spend the night. You have hot showers. You have a meeting room. And you have a nice bar where you can drink a cold beer.
Well, hey, actually, don't you have 2 bars over there?
Yeah, it's 2.
So, again, for our listeners, if you're somebody traveling through Baja and you're on the north end and you have some vehicle problems, visit Baja Voyager and seek out Baja Power House. You can take your vehicle over there and get some assistance, and you guys will help make that happen. Because I know a lot of times, Americans are traveling down here, and although it's not that far, they get to Ensenada and there might be a little issue with their vehicle, or they want to feel safer as they head south. You guys can check it out and do some work on it. So
some other friends and clients prefer just to stop, just to say hi.
Yeah.
And then we cross, points of view about the places they want to visit and which way to go. We have been involved in some events, and so we have been riding Baja, north and south, like 4 or 5 times a year, 6 times a year. So we know which is the conditions of the road, which is the better way to go if they have a big trailer or something.
Yeah.
So, they don't need to stop just to fix the car, but they just can stop just to say hi.
Yeah.
And if they need an opinion about the plan they have, we can help them with a map and give them directions and everything.
That's great because, you're right. You don't necessarily know the road conditions. And there's only a couple roads all the way south. So if one of them's bad or gone, in a lot of cases,
exactly,
they would need to know where to go, and you guys have relevant information for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just for us to think about to make business at the moment, but we know and we believe in give our best, and so make the trip enjoyable to the people. That's what they keep in mind in their heart. Yeah. So they will come back.
Well, we always talk about Baja hospitality and the people down here, and you're one of those guys that you've always given that hospitality and making people feel welcome. So thank
you very much. We love it.
So for my off-road race friends, speaking of this shop, we had a good conversation last night over dinner about, if you're down here racing or pre-running, which we all love to do, and maybe you have a tough day out pre-running the first section of the Baja 1000 and you need to do some work on the car, they can bring it to your place, and you guys have the bays that they can work on the vehicles with their team, but the tools and everything are there. and it's a basic rental fee, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we figure out Baja Power House